Moscow. Winter. 1983. You stand in the kitchen of a cramped Soviet apartment, staring at a glass of hot tea. Steam slowly rises into the dim yellow light above the table. Outside the window, snow drifts quietly through the dark streets. The apartment is silent except for one thing. A clock. Tick. 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 You pick up the glass and take a slow sip. And now the countdown begins. If the KGB has discovered who you really are, this might be the last thing you ever drink. You have 30 minutes to find out. 6 years ago, your life looked completely different. You sat in a small government office in Washington. Across the table was a man you had never met before. He wore a dark suit and had short gray hair. He slid a thick folder across the table toward you. Inside were photographs. Factories. Missile silos. Military installations. All located inside the Soviet Union. Then the man said something simple. If you accept this mission, you disappear. No one would know where you were going. Not your friends. Not your family. Not even your parents. Your entire life would become a lie. A new name. A new history. A new identity. You thought about it for exactly 10 minutes. Then you signed the papers. Training started immediately. For months, your life became nothing but preparation. You studied Russian for 12 hours a day. At first, the words felt strange in your mouth, but eventually you could speak it without thinking. Then came the cultural training. You memorized Soviet newspapers. You learned the names of television shows, popular songs, local jokes, because the smallest mistake could expose you. You were taught surveillance, how to notice when someone was following you, how to disappear in a crowd, how to send secret messages, how to hide microfilm in objects no one would ever suspect. Your instructors reminded you of one thing again and again. In the Soviet Union, someone is always watching. And if the KGB suspects you, you simply vanish. Your new identity was simple. You were an engineer, assigned to work at a large Soviet defense factory. Just another citizen in a gray coat walking through snowy streets. Your first days in Moscow were surreal. The city felt enormous, cold. Gray buildings stretched endlessly along the horizon. Lines outside grocery stores wrapped around entire blocks. People spoke quietly and almost never smiled. But for you, this city was more than just another capital. It was enemy territory. And every day you spent there was a risk. During the day, your life looked ordinary. You arrived at the factory early in the morning. You sat at your desk with other engineers. You reviewed technical drawings. You drank tea. You talked about sports. Sometimes your coworkers complained about the cold. Sometimes they joked about government bureaucracy. And you laughed along with them. Because if you didn't, someone might notice. But your real work began after midnight, when the city fell asleep and the streets became quiet. Inside your apartment, you turned on a small desk lamp. You carefully unfolded classified documents you had borrowed from work. Missile blueprints, weapons reports, experimental designs. You used a miniature camera to photograph every page. Each image was transferred onto microfilm. Tiny, small enough to hide almost anywhere. Inside a pen, inside a battery, even inside a cigarette pack. Once a month, you walked through a park late at night. There was an old brick wall there. One brick was loose. You removed it and placed the microfilm inside. Then you replaced the brick. Hours later, another agent retrieved it. You never saw him. And that was exactly how the system was supposed to work. For years, everything went perfectly. No suspicion. No mistakes. No close calls. Until tonight. Earlier this evening, something strange happened. When you returned to your apartment building, you noticed your doormat. It had been flipped over. Most people would never notice something so small. But during training, they taught you to recognize signals. A flipped doormat meant only one thing. Someone had entered your apartment. You stepped inside slowly. Everything looked normal. Too normal. The books on your shelf were perfectly aligned. Your kitchen dishes were stacked neatly. Your desk papers were organized. But you knew. The KGB had searched your home. And that meant one thing. They were starting to suspect something. Now you sit at your kitchen table staring at the glass of tea. 20 minutes remain. If the tea was poisoned, the symptoms will start soon. Your heart beats slightly faster. But you force yourself to stay calm. Because panic makes mistakes. And mistakes get people killed. Tonight is the most dangerous moment of your entire mission. Earlier today, you obtained something incredibly important. Photographs of a brand new Soviet missile system. If this information reaches Washington, it could change the balance of power in the Cold War. But now the KGB may already be watching you. Which means this mission must happen tonight. You put on your coat and step outside. The cold Moscow air hits your face immediately. Snow falls softly under the street lamps. For a moment, the city feels peaceful. Then you see them. Two men standing beside a newspaper kiosk. They pretend to read the evening paper. Both wear long dark coats and Soviet winter hats. You walk past them, without turning your head. But you see their reflection in a store window. They start walking too. Your heart sinks. You have a tail. You head toward the metro station. The underground train system is always crowded. If you are going to lose someone following you, that is the place. You descend the long escalator into the station. The platform is packed with commuters. Men in heavy coats. Women carrying shopping bags. Children holding their parents' hands. The train arrives with a loud metallic roar. Doors slide open. You step inside. The car fills quickly. People press shoulder to shoulder. You hold the metal pole and look up. And that's when you see him. One of the men from the street. Standing directly across from you. He looks straight into your eyes. And smiles slightly. He knows. You exit the train at the next station. Your mind races. There is only one option left. You walk into a dim underground pedestrian passage. The concrete walls echo with distant footsteps. You reach into your coat pocket and remove a pack of cigarettes. But inside the pack, there are no cigarettes. Only a tiny strip of microfilm. The most valuable intelligence you've ever collected. You sit down briefly on a metal bench. Your hands move calmly. Carefully. You attach the microfilm underneath the seat. In 1 hour, a contact from the CIA will pass through this tunnel. He will retrieve it. Even if you are captured, the information will survive. The mission will be complete. You stand and continue walking. But as you reach the exit of the passage, a black car pulls up beside you. The door opens. Two men step out. Long coats. Serious faces. One of them speaks calmly. "Comrade, please come with us." You don't resist. Because resisting would only confirm their suspicions. They guide you into the back seat of the car. The vehicle moves slowly through the snowy Moscow streets. Neither officer speaks for several minutes. Finally, one of them turns to you. "You know who we are." You say nothing. He smiles slightly. "We have been watching you for a long time." The car continues through the silent city. Streetlights pass slowly across the windows. But your mind is no longer focused on the interrogation that may come, or the prison cell that might be waiting. You are thinking about something else. A bench. Inside a dark underground tunnel. Beneath that bench lies a tiny piece of film. And inside that film, Is information powerful enough to change history? In a few hours, someone will retrieve it. A plane will carry it across the ocean. And somewhere in Washington, inside a quiet office near the White House, someone will open a folder and examine the photographs. And they will realize something. One anonymous spy in Moscow just changed the balance of the Cold War. The card disappears into the snowy night. You close your eyes, and for the first time since this mission began, you allow yourself a small smile. Because sometimes, victory looks exactly like this.